In this video, we are going to learn how to develop a star rating system for a particular post in ASP.NET MVC with C#. This star rating system that we are going to develop has 5 different status, and first we are going to see that what are those status, and then we will see that how to implement or how to develop this star rating system. So the first status is the login status, where a user comes to this page as a visitor. When you click on the login page, it will ask the user to log in to the website, and when it returns to this particular page again, it will show a star rating system where there will be 5 stars and user will be able to rate this particular post. So let's say suppose I am giving 4 rating. It right away given me the status that you have rated 4 stars, thanks. And when user refresh this page, so this was the second status basically, and when user comes to this page again, the third status will come and will show that thank you for your vote. And you can see that earlier the ratings were 9 and now it has become 10, and the overall rating on percentage is showing based on how much rating was given and how many people had given the rate. Now the next is, assume that user is coming to the same post again after certain amount of time, and he has already deleted any cookie that might be there in his browser. Then he will again, suppose he is logging in again and he is coming to the page again, it will show the rating system again because there is no cookies, and we are trying to track the status of the user whether he has rated this post or not based on the cookie. So what will happen is that when a user tries to rate this post, he will get a message that you have already rated this post, thanks. So so currently we saw that this rating system has this many status, basically 5 different status. And now let us try to understand that how to develop this rating system in ASP.NET MVC with C#. So in order to develop this rating system, first we need to create 2 different partial views in the shared folder of ASP.NET projects. As you can see here, I have developed 2. The first one is vote now, that basically gives you this option where user will be able to vote, and the second one, partial view, is vote show, that is responsible to show the vote, like this control. And then there will be a controller action method, and there will be a model, so that we will talk about later on. Now let's first discuss about the structure that we need to change in the database. So the first thing that we have to do is add one extra field into the existing database table where you are saving the details of this particular post. So in my case, I am saving into this school database table, and I have added one more column into this table called votes. Here I am interchangeably using the words called votes and rates, so do not get confused about it. And the width of this votes column is varchar 50, however only 10 is needed, but I have just kept it 50. And the second database table that we need is vote log, where we are maintaining that which user has voted and how many rate he has given for a particular post, where we have auto ID, that is auto increment column, section ID for which section this vote is for. For example, I have different sections in this website and I want to implement voting for different section, then section ID will contain the ID of different section. Vote for ID is basically the ID of the post for which the rate has been given. Like for example, in this case the ID is 3 here, so that will be 3. And then username is the username who has voted this particular post or rated this particular post, and vote is like how much vote or how many vote he has given. He has given 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star or 5 star. And then active, for whether a particular vote is active and it will be counted or not. Now let's see that how to develop the voting system now, the rating system now. So first we are going to see _vote_now.cshtml partial view, where first we are trying to get the absolute path of the URL in which this particular partial view has been added. Now you may ask a question that why we need this request.url.absolute path. The idea here is that whenever a user is voting a particular post, we will create a cookie into the user browser, and we will create a flag saying that okay, this user has already voted, and that cookie name will be the absolute path of the website, so that next time when user is coming to the same page, he will get a message that you have already voted for this post, thank you. Now again, the next thing is that if user is not authenticated to the website, then it will give a hyperlink saying that please log in to rate. That was the first status that I had shown. Then we are checking whether the cookie is already exist, means this user has already voted. If he has not voted, then cookie or the URL will be null, this cookie will be null. But if he has voted, then it will say thanks for your vote. Now let us assume that we are coming to this particular post first time, and we have not voted, so this request of cookies of URL will be null. Now what it will do is that it will render 5 different images on the page with a data value equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 respectively, and then there will be a label. We also have written one rating star CSS class, and then there are a couple of JavaScript code written. Now let us try to understand each JavaScript functions one by one. The first one is the mouse over on this rating star. This rating star is basically a CSS class, and this rating star CSS class has been added into all 5 different images that exist on this page, the rating images, the star images. And here you can see that whenever we are mouse hovering, the white star is being replaced with the yellow star. For example, if you are mouse hovering on 4, then all previous stars will be replaced with the yellow star. This is happening because of the previous all function of jQuery. So what it does is that it finds out this rating star and the element on which the mouse is there, and it finds all the previous similar type of element having img element and having a rating star as a CSS class, and changes src attribute to the yellow star. And when we are mouse out, doing mouse out means we are taking out the mouse from the rating star element and the rating div. Rating div is basically the placeholder of the images. Then we are changing back the yellow star to the white star. So it means that when we are keeping mouse out, then you can see that it is no more yellow star, now it is white star. So that is happening because of this particular function. And when we are taking the mouse out of the rating div here, then we are checking out whether the click flag is true. Click flag is basically a flag that will be that is being maintained to check whether user has voted, means user has clicked any star. So currently it is not, because the initialization of the variable itself is false. So if the click flag is false, then we are saying that change the yellow star to white star. Now let's assume that user has clicked on the star. So user has clicked on the star. Now when user has clicked the star, what will happen is that this event will fire and it will say click flag equal to true, means user has already clicked now, and then it will unbind the mouse out mouse over and click event from the rating star, means all the images, the white images, and it will form a URL to send the data to the server. Now here you can see that we have a home and send rating, and then rate means how much rate this user has given. This data value is coming from here. If user has clicked on the first star, then data value will be 1. If user has clicked on the second star, then data value will be 2, and so on. So R is basically the value of the star. S is basically for which section this rate has been given. ID is basically for which record or for which post ID this vote rate has been given, and URL is basically the URL on which this rate has been given. And then we are using the jQuery post method to send the request, and once we will get the response successfully, then we are going to set that particular response into the LBL result, and LBL result basically the label here. Now before we go and jump to the send rating action method, we will also see that when user has clicked on the star and when the jQuery post method is executing, it will change the LBL star value to processing, and if any error will come, then it will say error has occurred, just to let the user know that what is going on. Now let's go and see that what code is written into the send rating action method of the home controller. So here is the send rating action method of the home controller. It is returning JSON result. Now first what we have done is that we have declared a couple of variables that will get from the parameters that is coming to this page. So here we are getting R, S, ID and URL. As you can see here, R, S, ID and URL. So we have got all, and we have converted them into different data types so that it will be easy for us to use and execute them. First we are checking whether user is authenticated or not. For example, someone can simply copy the URL from the source code and just paste it into the browser address bar. Then he should not be allowed to save the voting or save the rate into our database. So this is just a security check. If user is coming without any login to the system, then it will say not authenticated. And suppose that he is not giving proper ID of the post, then it will say sorry, record to vote does not exist. So this is couple of security check. And then we are saying if the section, the S is 5, in my case it is 5, like we are going to use this rating system for the school section of the website. So in your case this might not be as useful. Now let's come back here. In this line of code, what we are doing is that we are checking that whether this user has already voted for this post by going to the vote model. You can see that the vote model is here, where auto ID, vote Friday, section ID, username, vote and active properties has been declared, and this is basically here. Now because I have already voted, this is CU is my username, I have already voted, so there is one record into the vote log database table. So what will happen is that this will return true. When it is true, then we will have something here in isIt variable, so it will not be null. So if it is not null, then what we are doing is that we are creating a cookie with the URL that is coming in here and setting its value to true, and then we are returning a JSON message saying that you have already rated this post. So let me try to vote it now, because I have already voted, so it should give a save message like you have already rated this post. And before coming to this page, I have deleted the cookie. Okay, so let me click. So you have already rated this post, thanks. So that. Now assume that I am voting for this post for the first time. Then what will happen is that we are first getting the post for which this rate has been given. Why? Because we also want to save the votes into the vote column of the database table. So we got that the school the object, the post object, and then we got its votes column value, and then here is some logic. Now before we try to understand this logic, just understand that we are saving this votes data into this format 0, 0, 0, 0. It means that there is no vote has been given for this particular post. But suppose that here it is 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. It means that one person has voted this post and he has rated 3. Now suppose that it is 2 here. It means that 2 person has voted this post and both person have given 3 star. Now suppose that in the 4th position it is 1. This means that 2 plus 1, 3 person has totally voted this particular post. So same thing what we are doing is that we are trying to first, because the default value will be null into that particular column, into the votes column here. So if it will be null, then there will not be split, so it will come here and it will get this votes as a string of 0, 0, 0, 0. It will keep 1 as a value based on which star the user has clicked, and then it will come here and it will just again concatenate this with the comma separated values and then update it into the votes, means this particular column, this votes column. But let us assume that many people have already voted. Then the data into this votes column will be something like this. So it will split it and it will come here, and based on what rate has been given to this particular post, that particular count will be increased, and then it will be saved into the database. So because I am the only person I have voted for this particular post, so you can see that currently the value will be something like this: 0, 0, 0, 6, 4. Now why 6, 4 is coming? It means that 6 people have voted 4 star and 4 people have voted 5 star, because during the test I had already done several several ratings, and I have not updated that particular column, so still the old data is coming. Sorry for that. But ideally, because I am the only person voted and only one time, so it should have basically come as like this: 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, because I had given 4 star. So that is the older data, so don't worry about it and do not get confused. So once it is saved, then we are also going to save the log into this particular table. So for that, what we did is that we have instantiated the vote model and added into it, and then we have saved it. Once everything is done, then we have to create the cookie, so that when the next time user is coming, like when I'm refreshing this page again or coming to back to this page again, it should say that you have already voted, thanks for the vote, like thanks for your vote. So that is coming because of this flag. The URL is basically the name of the cookie and the flag, and we are adding that cookie into the browser. And once all these votes has been done, then it is returning that you have rated whatever rate the user has given, and thanks, that you have already seen to the second status that I was explaining earlier. So till now we have seen the underscore vote now c.cs HTML, that is basically the voting system, and then we saw then when a user is rating a particular post, then how it is or what is happening in the server side, means how the data is exactly getting saved. Now let us try to understand that once user is coming to a particular page or a visitor is coming to a particular page, how this rating is being displayed. So in order to do that, I have created underscore board show.cshtml partial view that I have already told earlier. And here what we are going to do is that we are getting the vote from this particular database table, this particular table, like this particular column, votes column. So assume that we are getting that string like something like this in this format, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Here based on, like for example in our case we are getting 6, 4, isn't it? 0, 0, 0, 6, 4. So this we are getting into this particular partial view. Here what we are doing is that we have declared a couple of variables, and then we are checking whether they reach some data coming in. So yeah, naturally it will come, and then we are splitting this particular data separated by comma, and then we are looking through, we are counting that how many votes are total, and then we are also counting the total of the votes or total of the rates, and then we are getting the average and then percentage and so on. And then we have basically one image, star rating.png image, that is responsible to show the ratings, and let me show you that. So this is basically the image that is displaying the ratings. So let us try to understand that how this image is being is functioning. Here you can see that because the rating is 4.4 out of 5, so the complete 5-star is not being shown as yellow. Just 4.4 means little part of the stars are white and remaining are yellow. So that is happening because of this particular code. This is starring.png, and whatever percentage the vote is coming has been rated is coming because of this m_in%, and remaining will be white here. And then we are also displaying that how many ratings has been given and what is the percentage of rate out of how many. So that is being displayed using the second span here. And once this particular string is formed, then we are writing that string into the view under the div. This item prop, item scope, and these meta tags are basically a micro data that instruct the search engines that how many votes has been given and what are the rating system and so on, so that when the search result comes for this particular post, this rating system is also displayed as part of the search result. Now the last part of this star rating system is how to call these two partial views. So here is the code to call them. HTML partial vote underscore now is this particular partial view, and we have to pass just the post ID into this here, sorry, this one, post ID, and then we have to pass the votes, the current vote that is here, like this particular column, into the vote underscore show, as you can see here. So this string will come as the vote show, and everything will be taken care because we have already developed necessary infrastructure for this rating system. I hope I was able to explain this star rating system developed in ASP.NET MVC clearly. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video or my style of recording, do let me know by commenting this particular video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.